Well, well. If it isn't Attila the Hun, fresh from the killing fields. If this is about the typhoon, I'll get to it in a minute.
Now, Pritchard. I didn't risk my neck to have you lose it in a pile of CPUs and scuzzy adapters.
Well, look at you, using the big words. Don't think just because you hacked through the plant security system so fast that you're an expert on everything computer. There's a reason I can't examine the typhoon yet.
Do tell.
For your information, I am running a diagnostic sweep on our network and router security to find out how Sanders' hacker got a hold of our codes.
I'd have thought the first question to ask is, whose codes were they? Unless you already know.
Stick to kicking down doors and shooting people, Jensen, and stop trying to do my job. I guarantee you we'll get along better that way.
You're the one trying to tell me how to do my job, asshole.
Just leave, Jensen. I'm very busy.
I hear you cleared up the situation at the plant, Adam. Nice job.
David and Hugh Darrow? Hell if I know. What did Bill Gates and Steve Jobs talk about?
I bet he's trying to convince him to come out of hiding and make a statement that will counteract Bill Taggart.
Darrow is not hiding. He's working day and night in the Arctic, trying to save the world. That's what millionaires do when they get bored. They save the world. Didn't you know that?
That... God damn it, I wish that joke were less true. Oh, it's even more true of billionaires.
I'm telling you, Hugh, he might not have put the gun in Sanders' hand, but it was Taggart's speech to the UN that started all this.
William Taggart is nothing if not a shrewd political operator. You know that, David.
So for the sake of appearances, I have to look him in the eye and let him bullshit me?
With a smile. Always with a smile. We'll talk later.
Yeah, you wanted to see me?
Yeah, how you feeling?
I've had better days.
Well, when we're done here, check him at Dr. Markovic at the limb clinic downtown. Get her to get a checkup.
If you insist. Listen, about Sanders?
Yeah, about Sanders. What the hell were you thinking? Letting him slip away like that? I sent you in there to take care of things.
I'm hoping it'll pay off for us later. Sanders was furious when he found out his hacker was augmented. He's not gonna rest till he finds out who set him up.
Oh, and you're naive enough to think he'll share the information when he gets it. I thought you were ready for this, Adam.
I am. Today's attack was just a shell game being run by somebody else. I intend to find out who and why, so that it never happens to anybody again.
Good, because so do I. That hacker in Sanders' group, you're sure he was augmented?
I pulled his cables out myself.
Yeah, well, the police are saying he's not, and they're refusing to let me see the body, no matter how much money I threaten to pull from their retirement fund.
Maybe someone else is offering more. So what do you want me to do, boss?
We have to get a look at the corpse. You still got friends on the force. You think one of them will let you into the morgue?
Depends who I run into.
Get over to the station and find a way inside. Because if that hacker was augmented, his neural hub might tell us who he was. Contact me when you've gotten a hold of it.
You got it.
I'm being naive by following him, that's for sure. Yeah, bathroom. Alright, so thought process. First off, when I let him go, that was both A, not towards being non-lethal, and B, the idea of we have a mutual enemy. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. He may not say trust Zarif and the corporation I'm working for, but he should trust me, so I could get future intel out of him.
This whole thing just brings back bad memories. I love working here, but it's hard knowing that at any second...
God, I can't talk about it. What if another bunch of radicals burst through the door
Adam
right
Jensen,
now and start
please
shooting?
report to your office.
It's so awful.
Adam Jensen?
Because you'd be the first to...
Alright, I'll go to my office.
Hey, Jensen, glad to see ya. Damn it, now I sound like his girlfriend or something.
What do you mean?
Hey, Jensen. Man, it's good to see you. I'm glad you're back. How are you holding up?
I manage.
I'm sorry about Megan. I know it must be hard. For a while, we thought you were a goner, too. Everything's going to shit. The attack on HQ, and now this mess with the factory.
Yeah, tough times all around. How about you, Corella? You okay?
I don't know. I fucked up. I mean bad.
What happened?
Well, a couple of months ago, me and Tyndall, you know, one of Pritchard's techs, we started sneaking out some neuropozyne from one of the labs.
Jesus, Tim. You realize this could get you fired. Worse, arrested if the company chooses to prosecute. What were you thinking?
I know. It's complicated. I didn't want to do it at first, but there were good reasons. Anyway, now I want out, but Tyndall has security footage of me stealing the stuff and says he'll expose me if I ever stop helping him. I'm in a bad spot, Adam. I need that footage back. I know you're busy with everything that's going on right now, but I could really use your help.
Neuropozyne. What could you guys want with an anti-rejection drug for augmentation patients? Reselling it? Providing a competitor?
Why do you automatically assume I was trying to turn a profit?
Exactly. My first thought is like if he's doing like an anti-rejection drug, he's probably giving it out to somebody who needs it.
How about Tyndall? Can't you reason with him?
You could try, but Tyndall's a pretty driven guy. I mean, the guy's like a rock. You'd need a Casey aug or something to crack him.
Casey?
Social enhancer. It's an augmentation designed to read people's reactions and behavioral patterns. Higher end series even allows you to directly influence people with pheromones or something.
Okay, I'm surprised they let that. Is that publicly available or is it just privately? I can imagine being privately available, but billionaires are real shitty people when you get down to their actual actions. But like, is that publicly available? It's like illusion magic. I know illusion magic is just kind of like accepted as being a thing, but when you actually think about there's charm magic and you can make anybody like you, how's that fly? How does society function or not function with that?
Pretty ballsy stealing a patented drug from a secure lab. How'd you manage to do it?
Both Tyndall and I worked the night shift every other week. I stashed the neuropozyne in a bag while he edited the security footage. Guess he kept part of it.
What is it exactly you need me to do?
I need you to get back that security footage Tyndall has on me. It's probably in his apartment. On his computer, maybe.
So what? I just look him up in the phone book?
His apartment is near Brooklyn Court. It might be tough to get in because his building has a large security gate protecting it.
Well, that's just great.
Hacking the security gate is possible, but would require advanced hacking skills. You might have to look around for an alternate path. Maybe use the fire escape or something.
Honestly, it seems like these two have an amicable relationship, so I'm not going to inquire on the reward. That's the thing. goodwill tends to just get you more goodwill. Capitalists would never understand.
Alright, tell me more.
Really? Wow, thanks, Adam. I thought I was done for. The security footage will probably be on his apartment computer. Meet me in front of the subway station parking lot once you get a hold of it.
I got it from here.
Okay, I have 2 computers. No code found. Guess my own password. Didn't know if you were coming back, so I deleted your entire network account. I only received the order to set up a new one a few minutes ago, so if you don't like the password I picked, live with it. Agents in Mandrake. Password should also work on your home computer. Here, I really don't mean to bug you on this, but I think I've got another suspect in those neuropozyne thefts. I caught Denzel Mitchell going over my stack of VersaLife purchase orders. He said he needed to verify the legal address for a contract David wanted to look over, but he'd have that address on a dozen correspondences already. For a lawyer, you think he'd be able to come up with a better defense. Store code is 1364, by the way. Seen previously. Back, Adam. First of all, it really is good to have you back. Things just haven't been the same since the attack, and we're all hoping your return will restore some sense of equilibrium. That and David really missed you. I know your top priority right now is going to be with him, but if you have a moment, there's something I'd like you to check into as well. Someone's been stealing neuropozyne. First noticed about 3 months ago. You seem to be recording cases from VersaLife far more often than usual. I had Frank run through the lab security tapes, and that's when he realized someone had tampered with them, usually on nights when Will Rossellini was in charge. Frank wanted to search Will's office immediately, even gave me the access code, 3716, but I told him to wait. Last thing we need is to start falsely accusing people. When you get a chance, can you speak to Will? He's working in Office 23. Okay. Isn't that nice? Okay, so my first order is to head over to a limb clinic and get upgraded a bit before I start dealing with all this. Now, I really don't have much of a time limit unless somebody calls in and says, hey, what's up? Why aren't you doing that? So until that happens, I'm just gonna do my own thing.
The objective screen details your current missions and objectives. In here, you can find extra information that may help you better understand what needs to be done. Missions can be activated or deactivated, depending on if you want them to appear in your radar or not. Deactivated missions can still be completed.
Alright, so I guess I'll take this time to do a bit of explaining some thought process I've had. One, just accepting Seraph's proposal to go break into the police morgue to look at that body. It was a bit naive on my part, just trusting that what we're ultimately doing is good, because as I think I've shared in this channel, I was about to say channel, not sure if that's the right word, I think I've shared before, is that laws ideally are meant to be morals codified, as in there are the morals that we all know as common sense and common decency and what we think is good and right, and then just putting it into word that then we agree is enforceable. But thanks to corporate interest, well, now it's mainly corporate interest, but it's also evil and political interests prior to that. The laws were bent and rewritten not to serve what's good and not to be what's good and right, but to be what maintains the power structure, or to protect those in power from those without it specifically, or usually. So I mean, I'll try not to overtly break the law, because I mean that'll get you into trouble. But if no one's looking, but I don't really care too much about the law. I care about what I think is right. Which, acknowledge, may be different from what you think is right. We've had different upbringings, so we have different experiences and different moral compasses, ultimately. Hopefully we have some shared interests, though, in that regard. They aren't completely antithetical to each other, but I'm speaking to no one in particular right now, so who knows. That's one reason I accepted. Another is the other option was to say, no, it's because he held the police off for so long. But I know why he held the police off for so long. It's because A, he didn't want Typhoon to be exposed, because that get him in a lot of trouble with other powers. And B, he was holding the police off until I got my shit done. So, well, my shit being getting the Typhoon, so I guess it ultimately goes back to him. But, you know, that didn't feel like a good response. Neither of those responses were quite perfect for me. But it shows the better of one of the two. Lesser of two evils.
Mrs. Reed?
Oh, Adam, I'm sorry you startled me. And please, call me Cassandra. You and Megan were together long enough. I was waiting for you.
Out here? Why not come meet me inside?
I don't know. I guess I'm just not ready. This is where you work, but to me, this is also the place where I lost my daughter.
I know what you mean. It's never been the same for me either.
I guess it's not meant to be easy. It seems there's just no right way to deal with something like this. And I can't even begin to imagine how things have been for you after all you've been through.
Yeah. A lot of things changed 6 months ago.
I can't get over how much they've changed you. At first, I couldn't even believe you were still alive. How do you handle all of this?
Just say, good voice acting, but the body movements or animations are a bit too bobby. Too fidgety, I guess. Either optimistic or detached.
I do what I have to do, augmented or not.
You seem very pragmatic, Adam. Maybe you should be careful not to trivialize such traumatic changes.
Can I ask why you wanted to see me?
Yes, of course. I'm sorry. I'm here about Megan. About what happened to her. Or rather, about the investigation into what happened.
What about it?
Well, simply put, I feel something is not quite right with the way the case was handled.
You think there was some foul play involved?
I do. Call it mother's intuition. But when speaking to some of the investigators, there were a lot of inconsistencies. And then I met this detective, a man called Chase. He agreed things weren't handled by the book, although he has no proof.
And now you want to find out more?
I'll never hear my daughter laugh again, Adam. I'll never get a call from her to ask how I've been, or have the chance to ask her about her day. She was stolen from me. However unjustified this all is, I still want to know why it happened. You're not the same, Adam. And we've yet to see if it's for better or worse. But I know you loved Megan. Please, will you help me find out what really happened to her?
I picked detached.
I never got a chance to investigate the attack myself. I'll look into it.
Thank you. This means the world to me, Adam. Really.
The first thing I'll need to do is meet with this detective, Chase.
Good. He works part-time as a security guard in an apartment building on Brooklyn Court. I'll be waiting for you in your apartment lobby once you're done.
Why does a detective need to work part-time as a security guard?
Oh, he retired soon after the case. I don't really know the details. Maybe he'll tell you more.
I'm on it.
Okay, I'm gonna save now and see how recent the last save was, because you sounds like you really want me to hear that line. Oh, okay.
Recovering the typhoon has got to be the best thing that's happened in this company all year.
No kidding. General won't help me.
Well, I'm going to hear the mean line and then load back my save because I want the dialogue choices to stick.
Adam, I'm sorry you startled me.
Out here?
Oh, sweet, I can pop. Alright.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
I
I never asked for this. They say they saved me, but I'm not sure saved is the right word.
I understand your anger. I wouldn't take too kindly to people making that kind of decision for me, either. But that being said, I, for one, am glad that you're still among us.
Can I ask why you wanted to see me?
Yes, of course. I'm sorry. I'm here about Megan. About what happened to her. Or rather, about the investigation into what happened.
What about it?
Well, simply put, I feel some...
Alright. You got both Among Us and I didn't ask for this. Alright, so I gotta go to Cloaking. Get some upgrades. Why do they just have military police around here? That's a really bad sign. The cops should at least appear unarmed all the time, man. I mean, hopefully they are unarmed. That's always a good deal if they don't actually need armaments, but like, second best, they should at least appear unarmed. Okay, here we are. We're here. Okay, so go down there and turn on the left. Should see the limb clinic's up a set of stairs, or down. I don't know.
I don't really have anything against it. I just think it's disgusting. I mean, grafted metal into your skin? Yuck.
I guess you don't have any tattoos.
It's not the same. You don't need to take drugs for the rest of your life when you have a tattoo.
Well, I think what you do to your body is up to you.
Yeah? Well, when everybody's done doing what they want, what happens to people like us who refuse to become machines? We become the weaker species, that's what. And the next thing you know, we'll be the ones living in derelict Rome.
Wow, you really don't have an opinion on this, do you?
Sassy, but those are some valid concerns. We live in an era of pacifism, but that hasn't always been the way of human nature. Is it the way of human nature to be No, I'd say it's more so. More so to be violent. It's been repressed a bit with education, though, so... I feel like I might have passed the limb clinic. No, I'm not even there yet.
I, for one, approve of these protests. These limb people are drug pushers. Someone is getting rich while the rest of us are suffering.
I wouldn't know about those things. All I know is that this violence doesn't serve anyone.
Well, I guess the question now becomes, will the pro-human groups retaliate when Bill Taggart gets here?
He's that Humanity Front guy, right?
He's speaking at the convention center in a few days.
That's gonna be a day from hell.
He's so edgy.
Ah, Mr. Jensen. David Seraph told me you'd be dropping by. I've just been reviewing the test results we received on you last week.
Should I start rolling up my sleeves?
Surprisingly, no. I see no trace of glial tissue buildup in any of your charts.
It's been 6 months, Doc. Shouldn't I be under opposite shots by now?
One would think, but these test results show no signs of implant rejection. If anything, the bond between tissue and electrodes seems to be getting stronger.
So I'm free to go?
Well, Mr. Seraph did ask me to discuss another topic with you. You are aware that several precautionary measures had to be put into place during your first surgery?
Not all of my implants were switched on, I know.
The damage caused by the hematoma had to be taken into account. Your brain needed time to recover, to get used to the mechanical neural processors and turn them on naturally over time.
Cut to the chase, Doc. What does Seraph want?
He feels that you might be ready to speed up the activation process using special software known as Praxis kits.
You mean I don't have to wait for my augmentations to kick in naturally anymore?
You can, if you prefer. But Mr. Seraph did make a generous donation to LIM in your name, thus ensuring that Praxis software linked to your particular neuro enhancements would always be available to you and you alone. Please, take a look.
Well, now. Alright. Submit credits in 2 spots. I mean, that's nice in game, but also... Oh, there goes the UI. I'll listen to it. You know what? When there's a quieter time. It should be pretty soon. I also get to use the Typhoon at some point. Hypnotism. Oh boy. That's all I really have cash for on me right now. Replenish 3 energy cells. Alright. This one is a temporary increase of 50 health points up to maximum 200. The Hippostim contains 1 dose of an injectable stimulant that increases the health bar by its usual maximum 100 if the health bar is already full. Yeah, I'm just guessing that... I hope I'm remembering right, but the Typhoon was that, like, turret that shot out all the grenades in a circle kind of deal. I feel like it's a turret system. Still though, it costs just 100 for Typhoon ammo. Alright.
Very well, Mr. Jensen. Use it in good health.
I'd like to dive into the fact that the bond between my flesh and machine is getting stronger as opposed to weaker with most people. But I guess either that'll come up very much later in the game or not at all. Oh, I have 3. Being played at racetrack. Well, this was brought up in some conversation, so I feel like I should get this social enhancer. Alright, so that's there. Aim stabilizer. Reduced movement-based aiming penalties. Reduced vertical growth due to movement. Yeah, all movement induced vertical growth. So that'll be nice. That allows me to run and gun. But like, what the heck's this? No single individual. Pass through weakened walls. Increase inventory size by 2 columns. Oh, I'll have to invest in that. Objects reduce recoil. It eliminates all recoil. Alright, so inventory. And then there's some recoil stuff. Hold up. Hold up. I already have the Typhoon in me. I already have the Typhoon in me. I already have the Typhoon in me. Okay. What's this? The HUD of the possible upgrades are hold on timer and flash suppressant. Is the HUD an augmented reality? Activation automatic. So exactly when the enemy combatants will drop out of their alarm state and return to a relaxed standing. Well, that's nice. Protects against the effects of concussion grenades. Well, it depends how often concussion grenades are. If there's other counterplay to them, like looking away. See through walls. Nice. Track threats through walls. Also nice. Activation cost 2. Reflex booster. Take down multiple opponents. Supercharger for the human nervous system, boosting reflex speed and the firing of nerve clusters throughout the body. The direct effect of this means that the user is capable of reacting far faster than a normal person in a dangerous situation, enabling him or her to move quickly with split focus to engage more than one adversary. Quicksilver reflex booster, decentralized augmentation connected to nerve bundles in the legs to distributed set of disc implants in the spinal column and other elements of the body's vestibular system. Working in concert, these elements send and receive digital pressure signals to a series of implanted integrated circuits, granting the increased agility and corporeal control. Okay. I'm guessing if they're close enough, then I can just do a stealth takedown in 2. Or from any height without fear of injury. Okay, that's actually amazing, and I'll totally be getting that, just to negate all fall damage. Oh, and there's armor reduction. Armor reduction. Damage reduction. Here is... oh, cloaking. People can still hear you. That's good. Huh. Wait a minute, 3 seconds per energy cell, and 5... oh boy. Okay. Okay, that's pretty expensive to cloak. Per upgrade, so jump up to 3 meters high. Sprint faster. And then there's just run and walk silently. I very much want this. Run and walk silently is going to be great. I have to get 2 for that though. I need to get 3 in total. So yeah, I'm definitely going to want the movement stuff. I will definitely want negate fall damage. Dermal armor, eventually. I think I'm going to want that for when combat does break out. More info, though, is going to be very nice. With the eye stuff. Oh, there's hacking things, though. Anti-rebreather. Skin's harmful gases allows you to run for longer periods. Immune to toxic gas and gas grenades. Hello. wondering how many practice points I'll actually get over the course of a playthrough. Because I'm wondering if A, it's more like a modern AAA game in which you will have everything maxed out by the end, or if it's B, a bit more like Dark Messiah, where you have enough points to max out like a third of the skills by the end. That's going to influence how I plan things out. That I would like to actually know the answer for. And I also have to poop, and rather than hold it in, I'll just give you time to answer that while I go away for a bit. BRB. I return. I read your comments. Thanks for the warning, and thanks for telling me that, yeah, I won't have to be that sparing on skill points then. Wonder about early on, though. Well, I'm not doing the hacking route. At least not yet. There's a lot of hacking skills, though. Stealth enhancer, though. What's that? Oh, cones of vision. Last known location. Mark and track targets at distance. Where's the noise you produce travels? Detected space net on locations the enemy last saw you. Place enemy cones of vision. Man, they gave me some real high-tech augments, didn't they? I know exactly why he wants me to be their corporate attack dog. That's why they invested so much. Alright, so the next ones that I really want, just because they're going to change gameplay by a lot, is either the no sound augment or the no fall damage bit. Probably no sound, though. Because falling makes noise. Oh, falling makes noise. There's also aim too, but I mean the pistol does alright on accuracy. I'll just have to stick with that. That costs 2. And also costs 2. Alright. Memory and CPL down here. Heck.
Dr. Chepkowski to OR. Dr. Chepkowski to OR.
Protesting is not against the law.
I know that, officer. But some of those guys were carrying tire irons and setting garbage cans on fire.
And those were the ones we arrested. The rest were merely exercising their right to free speech.
What about my right to come to work each day without fearing for my life? I've still got to walk home tonight.
I understand your concern. But if you want round-the-clock protection, I suggest you hire a private security company.
Oh, that's one of the key points of free speech. By focusing so much on it, at what point do you draw the... Let's push and pull that. I think you want to guarantee your people's safety.
Adam, are you
but at what
finished
point do you restrict... Oh,
For now.
well.
Good. Right now I want to know who that corpse is. Head over to the police station and get his neural hub. And Adam, if you can't talk your way in, consider making a strategic retreat. There's got to be another entrance on the side of the building.
Okay. Where was I? Alright. On one hand, you do want people to be safe, or feel safe, at least. And on the other, how much freedom would they really have? Because, I mean, kind of have the worst of both worlds in that we, in America, where there's so much free speech, you can just talk hatefully about anyone and use it as a shield for bigotry. At the same time, you take a look at the Patriot Act back in 2001, which was really just used a terrorist act as an excuse to set up a massive surveillance network for their own citizens. It's like, So yeah, the whole restricting free speech stuff, I don't think all speech should be protected, but at the same time, it's a slippery slope once you decide to censor something. So it's tough to call exactly how much. I mean, you can just use the whole like common sense deal of like, if it feels like it's hateful and trying to be harmful, then yeah, ban it, but that's like a case-by-case thing. It's easy enough for people to understand too, it's just hard to codify that. It is the gas station.
You got anything you want to buy or sell? I'm the guy you want to deal with. Everything's on the computer, right at your fingertips.
Yeah, I will sell this drink. I was going to drop it either. Drop it otherwise. I might hold on to that. Oh, I can find another praxis point. Yeah, that stuff is cheap. Weapons are expensive and everything else is cheap, relatively speaking. Except for praxis points. Praxis points are, by golly, those are expensive. Also, I have sold my only means of non-lethal. Range non-lethal, that is. I can still do takedowns. Oh, and he has trank darts. Damage upgrade. Burst round system, what? Uh-huh, didn't I sell this to him for half price? Alright.
Be sure to tell all your friends. Just not the cops.
But it's literally right. It's Detroit. I guess that's the excuse we'll go with. It's Detroit.
Welcome to Lim International. Providing information.
Would you say the police were overly violent?
Overly violent? I don't know. The crowd was getting pretty hostile.
But there was violence, right? The police did physically strike some of the protesters, right?
Well, sort of. I mean, some people were shoving the police shields, and the cops had to shove back, but nobody really got hit, I don't think.
So the cops shoved people down. Very good. Thank you.
That's some leading question. That's, yeah, that's the kind of shit you have to look out for, in especially modern media.
Will you be
Well,
purchasing anything
mainstream
today?
news. Maybe even small-time news, but that kind of varies by person. And to get more extreme without that corporate backing. Skill point.
Always a pleasure, sir.
Alright, so now the question is fall damage or... You know what? It's only one tier, so fall damage. What's the F for? Oh, right. Lethal playthrough. I can still try, but just like with the opening segment, it's gonna be a mixed bag. Alright, so there's a couple of things. I mean, I'm going to defer on the police station thing for a while. Okay, that bothers me. I want to just like fall, just normally fall with complete control, not go into a goddamn cutscene. I mean, I was already going to do the whole clear the side quest first right now, instead of going to the police station, but fair warning. Or is it unfair warning? I don't know if I consider that a spoiler or not, if I'm being honest. That does change how I play the game, though, because I don't want to miss anything, but that also doesn't specifically spoil anything. They were like, bro. Not down apartments. Okay, Tyndall's apartment building. Okay, Detective Chase's building. Actually, let's go back to... Yeah, Sheriff Headquarters. Because I think just maybe I can talk to that guy. Now that I got the social upgrade.
Maybe there was some hazardous material they were worried about. More like there was something illegal in there that they wanted the rent-a-cop to get rid of. We should have never let that guy in. I thought Jensen did okay. He helped save the hostages. He got lucky.
It does tell someone there's vampirism in Oblivion, though. I definitely would not have known there were vampires in the game until they came up. Yeah, that actually does all the spoiler territory for me then. Alright.
Did you get it yet? Adam, please. You have to get that security footage back.
Neuropozyne. What could you guys want with an anti-rejection drug for augmentation patients? Reselling it? Providing a competitor?
Why do you automatically assume I was trying to turn a profit?
Alright, wait, Tyndall.
How about Tyndall? Can't you reason with him?
You could try, but Tyndall's a pretty driven guy. I mean, the guy's like a rock. You need a Casey aug or something to crack him.
I got it covered.
Yeah, I do got it covered.
Let me get back to you.
Yeah, like, that's not a major spoiler to say that there's that to be wary of vampires in Oblivion, but like that still is a spoiler. That still ruins the surprise of finding out that vampires actually exist. Because you don't know vampires exist in any given high fantasy setting. After all, they get to rewrite the laws of physics. How the fuck do you know what is and isn't there? Alright, Tyndall's either in his apartment or he's in here somewhere. I'm gonna check my old docs. I got an email talking about this. Alright. Get back, blah blah blah. Like checking into as well, someone's been sending neuropozyne. I first noticed it about 3 months ago. Frank run through the lab security tapes, and that's when he realized someone had tampered with them, usually on nights when Will was in charge. Frank wanted to search Will's office immediately and even get me back to the access. 3716, but I told him to wait. Working in Office 23. After that, Enzel Mitchell. Who's this guy? Tim Corella. He's not even on the list there. Alright, where's Office 23? Probably on the second floor. Oh, must be the other side. It's probably odds to the right. Leave it. Well, relative right. Yeah, Office 23. Bill Rossellini. Walt Cannon. Guess that's another guy. I should write that as weight cannon. I'm just, what the heck's a weight cannon? Alright, 3716. Oops. Okay, this cursor is not quite perfect. So it's not the upper left point on the pointer that indicates where I'm pointing to, but the bottom one. Like, here. Eh. And door close. Look, the next 3 decades. Where will we be in 2050? Potentially, well, I think we'd be here in 2050, in both timelines. The question is how good the living conditions will be. I mean, by 2100 we may not be here in this timeline. Or in the game's timeline. I don't know how this game's whole pollution thing is going. There was once a time when we believed that the world would become a monolithic nation state, a kind of United States of Earth brought together under the global aegis of a super-governmental body, but now that prediction seems quaint and hackneyed. The reality is that we live in an era where sovereign nations and formal governments of countries are little more than lines of demarcation upon the world's maps. More and more citizens of the world lend their loyalty not to a flag, but to the only true transnational entities that still thrive: corporations. Again, but true of our own timeline, we thus foresee a time when people will be citizens of their employer's nation rather than Chinese, French, Canadian, etc. In this world, what we have thought of as traditional nation complexes, such as America, will fragment in order to find their own equilibrium. Feels a bit of a tickle in a nostril. Might have a sequel to that sneeze. Alright. Let me first pour some water before I read this out loud. Sorry, I pour and drink some water. Because just pouring some water is only half the task. Alright, in chronological order. It's come to my attention that neuropsine has been disappearing from the lab, usually on nights when you are working late. Care to explain this? In usual prick fashion, that's how he phrases it. What exactly are you accusing me of? Frank, yes, I've taken quantities of neuropsine out of the lab. It's part of my research. I've also logged each and every drop used, and placed all unused supplies back in the freezer before leaving. And I was not the only one working late those nights. Talk to Brugger, he'll verify it. Don't get me wrong, I'm not accusing anyone, but as Sheriff Security Chief, it's my responsibility to stay on top of things. But the way you phrase this, while not explicit, you are accusing him. This guy's an ass. I mean, we already knew he was an ass, but just reconfirms he's an ass. Maybe a competent ass, but so far he seems kind of half-competent at this point. Kind of gets his job done, but just barely. Whatever Megan's team was onto with that Patient X strand is... really, Patient X strand is simply amazing. I ran the test 3 times just to be sure, and none of the usual rejection markers are present. After 8 weeks without neuropazine, this is unheard of. Well, listen, I gotta take off, but you have got to see the results for yourself. Come to my office, room 32. If I change the door is locked, 9642 will get you in. Alright, Patient X, I'm guessing is me if I combine this info with what we heard back at the Limb Clinic with the bonds getting stronger. Hello all, management realizes that you have all been working long hours in the drive to fulfill outstanding contracts. We recognize your increased efforts, and we thank you for your unswerving dedication to getting the job done with pride. We are attempting to fill recent vacancies as quickly as possible, but finding talented researchers who can live up to the high standards your company maintains is no easy task. If you know of any qualified candidates, please send them my way. In the meantime, thank you for your patience and continued dedication during this difficult time. Update. Good morning, everyone. I know most of you are still reeling from what happened here several months ago. The devastating loss of so many good people, so many of our friends and colleagues is something which I was about to say so many of our friends and family, because that's a growing trend for corporations to claim their family. They're not family. They're not people. Parasites. The parasites so deeply burrowed we gotta placate them, or else, because just ripping them out's gonna also tear out our arteries. Careful extraction, people. Careful extraction. Eventually we can be rid of them, or they'll suck us dry. Either way, they die. Question is whether we go with them. Something which I personally find impossible to grasp. I know we will never be able to replace them, but I swear to you this, in all caps, we will rebuild, we will pick up the shattered pieces of our lives and their work, and continue to move forward. Together we will be stronger than the bastards who did this to us, and we will not let them succeed. Right now, I am in constant communication with the authorities who are investigating the attack. As soon as I hear anything conclusive, I will let you know. In the meantime, Frank and the rest of the security team will be working tirelessly to ensure that this company, and all of you, remain safe and secure. If you have any questions, or if you simply feel the need to talk, do not hesitate to come to me. My door is always open. Strange for a CEO to offer that, kind of banking on the whole social pressures to just not bother your boss. Not go to him like, you don't really go to your parents for every little thing because your parents also punish you. You don't want to confess things to the people that also punish you. You want to confess things to people that console you or help you make things better, not the people who make things worse when you already made a mistake. Which would be a good opportunity to talk upon why. No, I won't go on to that. I guess I'll just say this, because I realize I cut myself off without enough information for you to guess what I was going to say. It's the saying, it takes a village to raise a child. And do we raise children within a village? No, we only do one person at most at this point. Yeah, anyway, what was it? Yeah, that's the accusation for 8 weeks. 32, 96, 42. Yeah, like raising children was a community thing. And then, I'm not sure when. I'm not sure how, but then it became like you own your children, so they have to be raised by you and you alone. Which, it leads to inferior children. Which, I mean, we are a product of that, so it's kind of calling us inferior. But, child doesn't really get to emotionally develop fully if they don't have a good range of people to learn from. And those people that they're learning from also have to work to pay, if they're raised by the village, you can split the responsibility. Not everybody has to do everything to take care of the child. Just do what you're good at. Leads to better results. At least it should lead to better results. I don't have experience in that field, given I haven't raised children myself, and My parents did not take the village approach. So, just theories on this. It's just a bunch of jargon. I mean, it's saying stuff, but it's jargon, and I don't feel like reading it, given all the readings kind of making my throat a bit sore. I have to drink water more frequently. Again, I gotta be Patient X. Knowing this is a story, Patient X has gotta be there. And like what they're saying, it just describes what the clinic person said. Alright, the Hugh Darrow story. I feel like this is more world building. I don't quite feel like reading it right now, but I should, because I used to read all the books all the time as soon as I found them, and that somehow changed. Darrow's father, Sir Martin Darrow, media mogul and founder of Picus. I want to say Piscus. Like, I think that's a Latin word for fish. But there's no S in there, it's just Picus. So I guess Picus then. Picus Communications enrolled him in the prestigious... Like, they're lacking or replacing letters. It's like what I want to autofill as is just not what's actually there. Enrolled him in the prestigious Skatecliff School and later the Stow School. A natural athlete, Hugh was the next his name is going to be pronounced Hug. Hugh was the captain of football, rugby union, and cricket teams, but beyond these sports, he found school to be boring and unchallenging, and opted not to enroll in college after graduation. His personal interest in designing and building computer-controlled mechanical devices, a crude robot at age 10, a makeshift robotics lab at 16, finally led him to the world's first Robot Wars competition in 1994. He failed to win, but while discussing design ideas with other robotics experts at the competition, he heard about human motion studies being carried out at Stanford University aimed at designing better prosthetic devices for amputees. Darrow extended his stay in the USA to meet with several biomechatronic researchers. Password. It's like right there, but given this is gamer time, you may not think to look even to the side. So blinded by the UI are we? Alright, Andrea, you gotta tell me, what the hell was that the other night? First of all, I had no clue you were interested, and no idea you were still in the lab. But when I went to put the extra notepads away and caught you reaching into the freezer, well, needless to say, it was a very pleasant surprise. Thank God Rosalini didn't walk in on us. I guess I'm just full of surprises. Yeah. I mean, after feudalism was capitalism. Like, I really do want to blame a lot of our current societal woes on the system of capitalism, but I didn't come out and say that on the family structure because I don't know enough to reasonably peg it on there. But yeah, if you can't trace it back to after feudalism, there's only one thing after feudalism at this point in history, and that's capitalism. I mean, I get how the values of capitalism can perpetuate the current way of raising children because this encourages ownership, privatization, that you own things, so you own your children. Therefore, you raise them because they're your children and not anyone else's. You don't let them touch your stuff. ultimately harmful way to look at that kind of deal. Like personal property, it's fine. You have something to hold on to. You want some kind of permanency, and having something that's definitely yours and no one else's is a bit of a special thing, but viewing everything as it being either yours or not yours instead of a shared resource, that's even if I can't put it eloquently, I think that that sound kind of summed it up. As you are no doubt aware, terrorism is on the rise in the city. We in the IT department are working day and night to keep this company safe from outside attack. But you are making the job harder every time you fail to follow the most basic of network security rules, which is why I must now remind all of you to lock your computer screen the moment you step away from it. Change your password every 6 weeks in keeping with network protocols. Never write down your password or give it to anyone else unless he has systems administration's authority. Surf the internet only when you are in the safety and comfort of your own home. Simple rules, people. Let's try to follow them. The last one's going to be a bit hard because we do need breaks frequently. It helps us. Instead of going full blast all the time, we ease off the gas periodically. That tends to give us better performance. Which means surfing the web, so hopefully they allow. They probably don't, but hopefully they allow some personal computers or phone browsing. Another way. To Ted Brugger. I know I already read this, but I'm rereading it because initially I thought this was our Wessel guy had wrote this, and then Ted Brugger was here. But no, this says Ted Brugger wrote, so this is Brugger. Oh, so Brugger is on it, either way. So they're both in on it. Denying it, but they're both in on it. Okay. Where? Never mind. No password. Oh, sorry, no lock. Of course. Of course. To Andrea von Wessel. Greetings, Shine Ferret. Nuclear Snake's got an assignment for you. It's come to my attention that someone has been stealing neuropozyne around here for quite a while. You know that stuff costs a fortune, so I expect someone's selling it on the black market. We need to get to the bottom of this and bring it to David before Jensen does. Feeling up to a little late-night detective work? I've got an IntelliCam that's rigged to record while it's inside the lab's freezer, but it'll look strange if I get caught in there placing it. You, on the other hand, are always full of surprises. You up for it? I don't know if a camera I can hack. Late night coffee break. Andrea, you gotta tell me, what the... Oh. Okay. Wait, why is this one computer have all these emails from different people? No, Andrea won't up. Wasn't that just at his computer in the other room? It's come to my attention that many of you are logging overtime hours, going to work to meet deadlines. Because of this, I'd like to remind everyone about Sarah Industries' overtime policies. For anyone exceeding 8 hours of work in a single workday and or 40 hours of work in a regular work week, you are entitled by law to 1 1/2 times your regular rate of pay for all overtime hours worked. But we'd like you to consider an alternative option, a 1-for-1 exchange of overtime for paid vacation hours, once project deadlines have been reached. I mean, that's an interesting trade-off. You get paid 150% for overtime, or you don't get paid at all for overtime and instead get paid vacation later on, so you kind of get paid to slack off for a while. I mean, you should still have paid vacation. I know American government doesn't guarantee that. It just... Man, this country's just shit show. I wish I could kind of say something positive, so just keep bringing up the failures of capitalism right now, but that... This is the material in front of me right now. Please inform your unit supervisor which option you prefer no later than Friday, 11 a.m. If we do not hear from you by then, we will assume the second option applies. Oh, the paid vacation. Thank you for your time and dedication to keeping Seraph Industries alive. Can't open that door. Okay. Overtime policy, late night coffee break. Detective work, network security. Whatever, recruitment efforts, research results. There are more security concerns, I think. Yeah, this is where my initial lead came from for looking into these rooms. 23. I really don't mean to bug you on this, but I think I've got another suspect that was neuropathy thefts. I caught Denzel Mitchell going over my stack of first life purchase orders. He said he needed to verify legal address for a contract that David wanted to look over. For a lawyer, I think he'd be able to come up with a better defense. His door code is 1364, by the way. David Mitchell, though. Yep, Andrea Von Wessel. Brewer. Dolbo, Cal Lopez. Denzel Mitchell. 1364. I doubt the AI from 2011 would detect open doors, but whatever. Leave things as they were. You know, Denny, for a lawyer, you're a pretty cool dude. Thanks for checking the POs. Would have done it myself, but Seraph's bitch has had my number for way too long. If she caught me with him, I'd have been toast. You know she's got Casey implants, don't you? Anyway, from what you told me, I'm sure Mika Pine's behind these thefts. She's in purchasing, types out the POs before Margaret Wolf signs them. It'd be so easy for her to change the figs after. She's till Thursday, so I just gotta get into her office for it. And Snake gave me the code to 27. That's her office next door to hers. 4145. I'm thinking of letting myself in there and using the air ducts to cross into her office. Don't worry, I won't sue if anything goes wrong. Again, lock your computers, you goddamn idiots. I get more info. Nice, but seriously, this is how we get hacked. This conversation was automatically saved in your conversation history. Alright, Frenetic Pony. We can't let SWAT into that plant. There is too much at stake. I'm calling Jensen in. He's still on medical leave. Markovic gave him a clear bill of health last week, and how much pressure was she under, huh? I resent that accusation. Vent to all you like, but you hired me to protect your ass. You got away with the surgeries because of that neat little clause we had in his contract. So if something happens to him now, it won't. Trust me. It's your call, boss. We saved his life for God's sakes. I don't think he'll be suing us anytime soon. So Frenetic Pony is David Seckert. Alrighty. This is... How he talks and how he types are two very different things. There's a lot of miscapitalization, and that's rushed at best, really bad at typing at worst. Yeah, I guess just read your contracts. They make them long-winded, both... I think they became long-winded just in an idea of, like, people kept trying to, get loopholes and be pedantic about it, so, like, this is exactly what it says, we have to follow exactly what it says, if it's not, it doesn't apply, kind of deals, and they start to add more clauses so you can cover all the loopholes, but then that just made things really long, and now, they don't have to be really long. Just go common sense, and you make that clear that it's common sense. So if it violates the spirit, then it violates rules, but now they keep it long because then people don't want to read that shit. And they can put sneaky things in there. I still don't read a lot of the stuff, but, like, just keep that in mind. It's really long to read, and it takes a while, especially in terms of service. And while most of it's just common sense things, they could sneak in some very, very evil things. Because they assume nobody reads it. So especially work contracts. If you gotta sign a contract to get a job, I'd say read that shit over carefully. Hey Denny, when you've got a second, can you stop by? David's asked me to draft a formal letter to TYM declining their oh-so-generous offer. I want to make sure I get the wording correct. As you're fully aware... Yeah, he sent out another email. It makes a bit more of a sense why he's a dick if he constantly has to deal with everybody else's incompetency, but alright. Still is a dick about it. That's not gonna help. Alright. And with that, I forgot which room number I have to go to right now. It's 4146. Insecurity measures, blah blah blah. No help. Pocket secretary. 274145. Alright. Looks a bit like Gerald. Who's on the other side? A neural hub designed for next generation by Hugh Darrow. Excerpt from a paper in NeoNature, May 2015. Neural hub technology is viewed by some as the millstone about the neck of cybernetics research, but such commentary indicates a failure to think outside the box. In fact, the Neural Hub has always had the capacity to grow beyond its function as a gateway for cyberwave integration. These implants developed in the beginning as components in ever-shrinking cell phone, TV, and MP3 player parts comprise numerous physical processors integrated into one physical chip, but the key is in the threading. The hub is controlled by software which enables more efficient processing on the hardware. Each input from the nervous system generates its own or multiple threads based on operations like motion or recollection. Referral is a combination of multi-core processors tied closer to the human brain's own superlative multitasking capacity, effectively breaking down the barrier between the commonplace hub designs of current iterations and the subject's own mind. In effect, we allow the hub to work with the human brain. An analogy, instead of a relay race where one participant is slower than the other, it becomes a ride on a tandem. Okay, now there's some whiskey. Screw that. Operating system. Again, freaking security procedures. I feel Pritchard's rage. Alright, don't be pissed at me, D. All I meant when I said it was that maybe, just maybe, I made a mistake. It happens all the time on those crime scene shows, and we never actually saw the DNA results. Don't you want to believe that Megan could still be alive? She was your friend too, after all. Yeah, Lala just told me we work our butts off and they start taking away our benefits. Not cool. I'm starting to get a stinking feeling about this place. You still up for happy hour downtown? If we can get away at a decent hour. Hey Gail, you sure they're thinking of cutting vacation days? What the hell? This is if the kind of thing companies do when they're about to go belly up. That part's actually true, though. Although about to go belly up is usually many years or decades, but when they start to not take care of their own shit, just kick the can later or burn out their people, that's when things start to go downhill. How long it takes them to hit bankruptcy and, actually closing doors, that's a good question, but at least know the turning point. Okay, overtime policy thing. So they aren't, because I was in surgery and incapacitated during that time. I'm guessing they automatically put me down for vacation days, which is just fuck off. Maybe. Honestly not sure which one. Depends how much they're paying me. Okay. Transcript of a seminar given by Hugh Darrow at the World Bioethics Summit in Tokyo, 8th September 2011. The next study I'd like to share is one in which we analyze the security and privacy properties of an implantable cardioverter defibrillator, ICD, introduced in the US market in 2003. This model of ICD includes pacemaker technology and is designed to communicate wirelessly with a nearby external programmer in the 175 kHz frequency range. After partially reverse engineering the ICD's communications protocol with an oscilloscope and a software radio, we implemented several software radio-based attacks that could compromise patient safety and privacy. At this point, cries of outrage from participants interrupt Mr. Darrow. He looks up, surprised, loud gabbling sounds. Please, ladies and gentlemen, please. After several minutes, Darrow quiets enough for Mr. Darrow to speak. Listen, I'm not here to talk about the philosophical nature of what we do in augmentation science. That's not to say I don't understand the ramifications of my work, just that I feel that there are better thinkers than I more suited to the task. My prowess, my genius, if forgive me for calling it that, is in the creation of these engines of human improvement. I'll leave it to future generations to decide if I am remembered well for what I've created. But I will say this, at no other time in our history as the dominant species on this planet have we, as human beings, had as much power over our own bodies as we do now. We are on the threshold of an age where the tyranny of biology can be defeated. Someone born blind, someone whose legs are claimed by some tragedy, someone who once could hear but now cannot. We can offer hope to them. Nature no longer has the upper hand. Again, if you just offer that stuff for free, like, hey, as long as you want to do this, we can offer it to you because it's paid for by your taxes or something. Cool, that's great, that's utopian, and that is a utopia, but no, this is capitalism. You gotta fucking pay an arm and a leg to get your other arm and leg. Not a lip service, as far as I'm concerned. Alright. I'm gonna pour another cup of water. I'm really talking a lot this stream, and oh my, we are already an hour and a half in. Time sure does fly. I say, I do look forward to playing this game. I will not play it off stream because it's very story driven. So if I do anything off stream, it's going to end up potentially skipping things of importance. So yeah. However slow this ends up being, however long it takes, it's all going to be here in these 2 hours. Welcome back. Alright. Nika, I just got off the phone with Aaron from every season. He told me that all these vacation days you've been using up lately haven't been vacations at all. Why didn't you come to me, sweetheart? If I'd known how difficult it was for you to set foot in Neutral Labs, I could have done something about it. Look, I'll speak to David. He'll understand, and maybe we can get workers' comp to reimburse us for all the weeks you've been missing. In the meantime, stay home, try to relax, and keep up those sessions with Aaron. He sounds like a really helpful person. And another email from Pritchard about how people don't lock their computers, as I read another person's computer that they didn't lock. And this game came out in 2011, and it's a cyberpunk theme. That's kind of all it was. Oh, I forgot it was that buggy on release. I really forgot it was that bad. Oh, this is that corporate speech. Okay. Skip that. Wait, well, what was actually of use in here then? Well, there's Aaron, new name. And that's kind of it, unless I got a PDA or something. I'll double check here. Yeah, I think I remember seeing some promotion for it like a long time ago. So long that I completely forgot about it until like, hey, it's going to release later this year. I'm like, oh, that exists. But I'm so poor, I don't really look forward to games much. I mean, I shouldn't look forward to things I can't buy after all, right? The money I got left and I'm looking at a game, it's got to be like for fucking sure I want this game, and I want it now if I'm going to buy it. Which, the only game in recent memory I have had like that has been Ultra Kill. I didn't even have $40 in. I had $0 in, and I just went, parents, I need this now. Give me money. And they gave me the money to buy it, and that's that. Now I have Ultra Kill, and I don't regret it. Not one bit. So yeah, if you want to see new games at this point that aren't already owned by me, it's going to have to be gifted. Okay, so I want to go to the labs right now. And I'm not sure if I'll stop at the 2-hour mark, and I say that because I don't want to forget all the info I've got going through my head right now. Because I will by the time we stream tomorrow. I may remember some of it, but not all the details. So, cafeteria, helipad, technology lab, access elevator. Oh, Can I go deeper inside or something? Yeah, lately I've also been losing interest, because now that I can't buy games, I actually get to see them play out. Like, I'm not part of the hype cycle. I remove myself from that, and I just get to see the games kind of as they are. I kind of realize AAA is best summarized with the word schlock. They aren't outright terrible in most cases. There still are some outright terrible AAA games, but they aren't good either, or like okay, like Rule. Like they do if you're fine with anything, but not great. Which might be an insult to Gruel, because I think I actually like Gruel. When was the last time I even had Gruel? No, just in case you're thinking, it wasn't like a case of extreme poverty or adversity or anything. It was just like, I had the opportunity of like, hey, we're going to make Gruel today. And it was like, alright, I get to try Gruel. And like, I think I remember liking it. So, yeah. I like AAA games less than Gruel, I guess. So long ago, though, I don't really remember what Gruel tastes like. Just that I think I like it. Alright, the term neuroplasticity literally means the flexibility of the brain to recognize itself based on the result of experience. 2 decades ago, the consensus among cognitive neuroscientists like yourself was that lower brain and neurological areas were unable to be changed after development, whereas structures such as memory could be actively altered in areas related to formation of recall. In a series of cleverly designed experiments, Michael Merzenich proved that somatosensory and auditory sensations, touch and hearing respectively, can in fact be modified through practice. This process of long-term potentiation was further explored in a series of studies in the mid-90s at Southern Illinois University, studies which clearly showed how memories could be enhanced by manipulating neuroplasticity. Indeed, with the precise timing available to us in today's computers, we can clearly see that enhancement in learning can be applied for areas of the motor cortex, auditory cortex, somatosensory cortex, and hippocampus. Manipulation of neuroplasticity makes it clear that we, as a species, have been blessed with a brain that has an unparalleled flexibility to incorporate neuroprosthetic augmentations. To apply that more so to add-a game context, yeah, your brain is malleable. Like, I know we tend to talk of it as brain or brawn, but your brain's a muscle too, man. That shit got trained, and it can grow, and alter, and atrophy. atrophy means it deteriorates with disuse, which is what happens to, I think, most Americans' bodies. Because we just sit on our asses most of the time. Not to say that we're lazy, but I mean, even at work, you just gotta sit on your ass a lot. And when you're not at work, you just want to sit on your ass, but more comfortably. So where is this Prepapa? Where the hell is this drug thing they've been stealing? Because I gotta cam in the cabinet where they keep it, and if I can find that, I can get some evidence.
Josie Thorpe. She's the plant manager.
Right, Josie. Yeah, I met her. What happened?
I heard the leader of the terrorists had a gun to her head, but Jensen talked him into letting her go.
Wow, that's amazing. Good thing Jensen was there.
Saved
Yeah,
us
good
all
thing
another
I'm here.
funeral, that's for sure. God knows we've had enough of those.
Yeah, I don't know where. Okay. Yeah. Honestly, that's getting into semantics. If it walks like a duck and it talks like a duck, then it's a duck. Everywhere at the end of time, I'll have to... You know, first off, let me save. I haven't done that in a while. I don't know how stable this game is, but who knows. It still is like actual full screen instead of windowed full screen, which is a bit worrying. Alright. Everywhere at the end of time. It's an album? Okay. I'll look a bit more into that, besides reading the first couple sentences of Wikipedia later. Alright. Handel or something was his name. Handel? See if I can get into his office. Yeah, I know where he lives, given that info, but like, where's his office? Dude, if they've been giving that shit away for free, though, to people that need it, then like, I'm totally for that. Fuck the system that is capitalism. Because, I mean, why cure people when you can just have them keep paying for treatments? You got a customer for life. Yeah, that's a fair distinction. Somehow, I mean, it said cafeteria and helipad this way, but somehow how quieter it is. That's a helipad, but like, if I go down the stairs over there, does that take me to the neuropazine lab? That's the word, neuropazine. Parking. Okay. Alright, that's not where I was hoping. Yeah, your brain, just like your muscles, also gets harder to improve the less you take care of it, and as well as the later into life you get. It's not just the process of aging that causes increased deterioration, whatnot, but they do happen. All the stuff does happen in tandem, so it's easier just to say it's because you get older. Seriously, where? Oh, right, that leads out back to that helipad. I guess I try the elevator. No idea where this goes. Nice, they have a maximum load sticker. Of course, they use sex to sell robots. If there's two things that always grab the attention of humans, sex and death. Making life and taking life. Somehow I feel like that does exist, but only in the indie space. Or in the experimental space, like it's not actually sold as a game, but it's like a simulation or something. Yeah. Yeah, that would be neat, actually. If you've ever been through like a city or even just a large building without any people there, it's a mystical experience. Mostly because you're used to there being people there, so we're not seeing any of this like weird. You see the whole place differently. Yeah. Remove the people from the world and like it's a cool place to explore. You add the people and now it's like, oh, I can't explore because they'll get mad at me. Or something like that. Oh, I forgot to actually look for Tyndall's office. And I gave up looking for the labs with the neurophazine. Actually, yeah, when it comes to actual cities, there are games that are about exploring spaces, and some of those spaces are just architecture. I remember hearing about some indie games for that. But, like, actual cities? I don't think I've heard of any games that explore actual cities. Alright, where's Tyndall? Don't think they're on this floor. Yeah, that name's looking familiar. Yep, there's Ted Brooker's office again, and okay. Still, I'm curious what the key is for explosives, but I don't want to huck an explosive in the middle of civilian place. Not Tyndall. Not Tyndall. Technology lab. Nope. Not Tyndall. Not Tyndall. Does Tyndall even work here? Not Tyndall. Not Tyndall. Well, I guess I'll, since I didn't find the tech labs, I did not find Tyndall's office, that really only leaves me going to Tyndall's place. Directly. And talking to him about stuff. Hopefully the game flagged the fact that I read all that stuff about his co-conspirators. And will let me bring it up in conversation. These streets are narrow, though. Real narrow. Like, really? Narrow street. They can barely even fit a right, proper car. What the heck? Yeah. Yeah. Like, I know there's some people that actually use Google Maps just to zoom in all the way down to street level and just kind of wander around places. Speed runs to find the bathtub. Oh, that's pretty nice. Hey, lab rat. Listen, keep this to yourself so don't get spoiled, but I've got my own little crib, the Crumbs Palace storage unit. Code to get inside is 4626. Dibs on the 40s, though. Touch them when you get the Crumbs. Special Crumbs. So if I find that storage unit, I mean, I got the code now.
Grayson hooked me up with some real tight merch. Those ARC lovers get in my face now, I'm ready to pop.
Grayson? Where he at these days?
Yo, where you been, man? He been running shit through that abandoned gas station for weeks.
Oh, word? I wanted to get some upgrades for my Zenith 10 mil.
He can hook you up nice, man. If you go, tell him I sent you. I want a discount next time.
Word.
I mean, yeah, fighting someone with a weapon's a scary thing, but if everybody's got weapons, or at least know how to deal with them.
Get him some cyber paws, cyber fangs and shit. Throw him in the ring.
Dogmentation?
Yeah, word. We should, what do you call that? Register. Patent.
Copyright.
Yeah, copyright. Let's copyright that shit. Dogmentation. Yo, we gotta be rich, man.
What was I saying though before I had to overhear that? Ah, right, the debate about whether civilians should be armed or not. I mean, what I won't budge on is that civilians should know self-defense. Like actual physical self-defense techniques. We should know that. That way you can deal with violent aggressors, but the question is then, should we be armed with weapons or not? I don't know. Because, I mean, on the one hand, that does deter people from wanting to try and shank you if you can shank them back, but on the other hand, they can shank you, they can kill you faster than with their fists, you know? Maybe they can shank you before you can shank back. Which will empower them to try shanking more. It's a weird... It's one of those debatable things. code found. Alright. Heck's up with too heavy. Okay, how do I... Oh, I don't have the augment yet, do I? About to go, why can't I jump up 3 meters? But, like, right, that's this augment. Right, I have the no fall damage one. The no fall damage cutscene. Damn it, why's it gotta be a cutscene? Can't push it.
Maybe those Purity First nuts have got the right idea. Might be the only way to get the governments off their asses and do something.
Well, let's see where this leads, I suppose. Not much fear of falling off, that's for sure. Motherfucking cutscene. I have a feeling I would have landed too if not for that goddamn... Has it shortened my jump distance because of that? That is a good question. Like, I get just there, and it feels like I'll make it, and then it plays that. Sprinting, too. Alright, alright. I'll take the ladder up. Oh, it's 2201. Maybe that building will help, but I don't think it will. Gotta go that way. Yeah. So that's it, Seraph puppets. Yeah. Now, where am I? Let me reiterate, I do not like the fact that it's a cutscene now. Alright. I don't have a code. I don't think I should hack without any kind of hacking upgrades. So I guess let's see if there's another way. Again, I'd like to make that jump. I feel like maybe I could, if not for the not for the cutscene kicking in. $1.49. I am tempted, but I also have heard that first game is janky and unbalanced as fuck. So I'd have to hear more before I decide to go buy that. Because I do believe I have The Witcher 3 on Epic Games. I think, or maybe not. I know I've seen it on sale a multitude of times. I'm not sure if Epic Games ever offered it for free, though. If they did, I doubt I got the DLC, which will be an issue. Well, I could press my luck with the hacking. Or... Oh, that's the apartment. Or one apartment I gotta go to. Had the higher jump, that'd be better. It stands though. You got it. Yeah, it is. If it comes with the DLC, then I may pick that up, because that is exactly the kind of discount I'd be willing to buy it at right now anyways, given my lack of income. However, if it's not the DLC, I may just pass. I know, right? We're glad that dumpster was set up properly. Alright, I'll go a bit overtime. I want to talk to Tyndall. I think I have New Vegas. I think. You know what? Let me actually check if I do. Because I feel like that's a game. I probably don't have it installed though. I have this stuff organized by file size, so when I gotta make space, I know what to delete. Crossfield is going to be something I'm looking forward to playing, though. I have heard nothing but good things about it. What? Yeah, it's on the wish list. It's $10. All the DLC though is $20. So I don't have it. Would be worth playing. I'll say that, but given I have no income, it'd have to be like very, very steep discount for me to spend what little money I have on it. I remember in the, not that I've played them, but I've watched a number of videos on it, that if you go like 0 in the original Fallouts before Bethesda took over with 3, you actually had completely different dialogue choices for everything. Like your character could not speak properly and did not understand things. And people could treat you like an idiot. You wouldn't be able to insult them back because your character could not understand, couldn't comprehend. It's interesting. I wonder if New Vegas has that, because there was also made by Obsidian. I was about to say Bethesda. It's possible. It would take time to open up Epic Games. But I'm wondering if I have an Epic Games. I mean, gameplay is... I guess you could think of it as Elder Scrolls with guns. In terms of gameplay. At least for 3. I played a lot of 3. 3 is a lot like, say, Oblivion with guns, I suppose. Different setting, more range focus. It was a nice, fun game. I'll say that. I played it a lot. It's also a kid back then, and it was the only Fallout game I played. I just know that I probably dodged a bullet with 4. 4 is turned into the AAA schlock, it seems. And then there's 76, which has been a unfinished. Yeah, New Vegas, I think I briefly played. And the thing is, New Vegas was made with the same engine as Fallout 3, and me being the inexperienced dumb kid I was, kind of expected more Fallout 3 from New Vegas, which they're two very different games. You play them very differently. Because of that, kid me got turned off from New Vegas almost immediately. So I can say that technically speaking, I have played New Vegas, but no, actually I haven't. I don't even know if I still have the physical copy or if it was digital or what console it was even for. Yeah. Yeah, because it seems like there is some good stuff to 4, but also some bad stuff. It's that whole mixed bag that's just wrapped up in a giant amount of hours that is the AAA schlock. Wait, I can interact with a... Oh, move and fragile. Okay. Security rating 1. I could break into that guy's apartment, but I don't feel like I should. I feel like if I trigger a hacking alarm here, they're going to call the cops on me, and that's going to be a bad time. I don't know if they're going to go that far. Maybe they just lock me out, but... let's not risk. I only have to hack anyways, so... As I mentioned last time, I'm going to play through my mistakes, so... If cops get called, I'm just going to save in case there's a critical failure that ends up with me having to reload a save because I died or something. I got the fisty. Oh. Oh. Yeah. Yeah. So of all I've seen, I'll say it's a. You can still have some fun with 4. It's just not as good as some other stuff. Fisty. Oh gosh, I'd never make that name, but I enjoy it all the same. Alright. Currently I don't have any time limits. I need to get here, so I need to go from to you, to you, to you. Probably... Wow.
Access denied.
Wow, that was a fast detection. That's part of it. Most of the main issue I got was that they tried the new dialogue system, but they way oversimplified stuff. And not only did they oversimplify the dialogue options, they also didn't have much different between them. Like, you have 4 options, but it boils down to yes and sarcastic. So, Payne Austin. Alright. Attempts left 5. Still 5 left. Jesus Christ, man.
Access denied.
Damn it. Got closer that time, though. Oh. Okay. Still locked down 30 seconds. Yeah, I'd like to know if I can just talk to Tyndall, but I don't know where Tyndall is. So I got the whole, like, speech augment just so I can try to talk through this and not have to risk getting on anybody's bad side. But, oh. Again, I take this stance in life, too. I try to avoid making enemies. I don't necessarily make friends, but I at least do not make enemies where I can help it. Which leads to some people just liking me because I'm not, you know, mean to them. Or whatever. But, you know, just because I'm not rude doesn't mean I like you. I know some people are exposed to so little niceness these days, they interpret any attempt at kindness as friendship, but not quite the case with me. I don't think I'd overtly reject it, because that stinginess might also make you an enemy, so I may still, just quietly accept the misinterpretation, but alright. I think I'll just make the safe at the top and then call it. Oh, yeah, right. The Brotherhood of Steel isn't supposed to exist where Fallout 4 takes place. Oh, that's so true. Yeah, I mean, even test lore. They can kind of get away with test lore because they have the whole deal where reality is highly malleable in that universe, but, like, Like, it was pretty generic high fantasy for the first 2 games, and then it got real wacky in the 3rd, which gave it its identity. Then 4 went back to high fantasy, but retains at least paid respect to some of the wackiness of 3. And then 5 just went full on trends. Like, people like dragons. We'll break our lore and add dragons. I gotta play with that shit. Yeah, right? They've added in a bunch of books to explain why Cyrodiil is the way it is, and I think it's some cool explanations when you get that, when you actually read a few of them. If you read just one, it sounds a bit absurd or out there, but you read a few, you start to connect. But, like, I do wish they'd actually, like, put more emphasis on their lore and not just what's cool, because you can still have good gameplay while being a non-standard high fantasy setting. Anyway, that's the last save of the night. Let's see how long it takes to actually properly close. Because yes, the game itself is hanging on exit. I know if I Alt-Tab it should be fine. Let me actually see if that works. Oh yeah, if I Alt-Tab it just immediately goes away. Yeah, I guess just on the topic, so still don't play Elder Scrolls Online. I lost some cognitive functions playing that game. It's the kind of game where it's so easy you aren't challenged, but you can't half AFK like RuneScape, so you still have to kind of be brain dead at the key. You have to give it full attention, but like minimal effort, and it's just, it's so dumbing. Anywho, good night, and oh boy, I have a thing to listen to. Multiple things now.